All right, so today we're diving into something pretty wild.
Yeah.
Magic.
Mm.
But not like the, pulling a rabbit out of a hat kind of magic.
Right, right.
We got a piece that argues that magic is actually real.
Oh,
It's all about energy.
interesting.
And get this, we're already using it.
That really makes you think about magic differently. You know, the source is saying it's not about, the supernatural or anything. It's more about like understanding this energy that we all have inside of us. And you know how ancient cultures have always talked about things like prana or chi.
Right.
It's saying it's all kind of the same thing.
So less about like, abracadabra, and more about tapping into some universal power source.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really interesting is that it suggests that like modern science is actually starting to like catch up to this ancient wisdom.
Oh, wow.
Through things like the study of biofields and energy medicine.
So we're kind of rediscovering something that humans have always known.
Maybe.
That's pretty mind-blowing. Now, the source also mentions this really powerful image.
Okay.
It talks about a hidden flame that's inside each of us. Where does that come from?
Well, that comes from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth,
Okay.
which is this ancient Egyptian text.
Wow.
And according to the source Thoth, who was like the god of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
He described this hidden flame as our like life force energy.
Oh.
And the source claims that this is like the key to personal power and wisdom and all that.
Okay, so we've got this hidden flame of power inside each of us.
Right.
I'm definitely intrigued. But how do we actually like access this flame?
Well, that's where the source gets really practical.
Okay.
It says that we can awaken and direct this energy through specific techniques,
Okay.
like breath work and visualization.
So is that like meditation or something even more hands-on?
It's like a way to work directly with your energy, you know?
Okay.
Like, for example, the source talks about nadi shodhana. It's a fancy word for alternate nostril breathing.
Oh, right, right.
And it's been used in yogic traditions for centuries to like balance energy channels in the body and create this sense of calm.
Alternate nostril breathing. Huh. I've heard of that, but I never actually tried it. What's the idea behind it?
So by controlling your breath in a specific pattern, you can actually influence your energy flow and your state of mind.
Interesting. And the source also mentioned visualization. What's that all about?
So the source suggests that by practicing visualization, you can actually learn to like sense energy, move it, even direct it.
Oh.
It sounds kind of out there.
It does.
But think about it. We use visualization all the time, right? Like athletes use it to improve performance. Creatives use it to, bring ideas to life.
Right.
So why couldn't we use it to manipulate energy?
Okay, so we're talking about like picturing energy flowing through your body, or maybe like even imagining creating balls of energy with your mind.
Yeah, that's the idea. Whoa. And the source claims that as you practice this, you can start to develop like a real sensitivity to energy and its movements. And it even suggests that people can use this for things like healing or, enhancing their own personal power.
And this is starting to sound like we could become like some kind of energy Jedi.
Yeah.
But on a more serious note, how does all of this like relate to our everyday lives? It can't just be about doing these exercises by ourselves, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. The source actually emphasizes that like energy awareness should be a part of everything we do.
Okay.
It encourages us to pay attention to how different people and places affect our energy. Like, have you ever noticed how some people just like drain your energy?
Oh, yeah.
Like others make you feel like energized and inspired?
Totally. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Some people leave you feeling exhausted, and others leave you feeling like you can conquer the world.
Precisely. The source is saying we need to become aware of these like subtle energetic exchanges and learn how to manage them.
So it's less about becoming some kind of energy superhero and more about just being mindful of how energy is like constantly flowing around us and affecting us.
Exactly. It's about becoming more conscious of this like invisible world of energy that's all around us.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. It's like we're unveiling like a whole new layer of reality. But let's be honest. Some of this still sounds a little woo-woo.
Right.
Does the source address that at all?
It does. It acknowledges that these ideas might sound a little out there.
Right.
But it also points out that what was once considered magic is often just a deeper understanding of the natural world. And as we learn more about things like energy fields and biofields through science, the line between magic and reality might start to blur even more.
So what they're saying is that maybe science is just catching up to what ancient traditions have known all along.
That's one way to look at it. And as we learn more about the science of energy, it could be that we, begin to unlock even more of the potential that the source describes.
Okay, I'm definitely hooked. We've got this hidden flame of power inside us. Techniques to awaken it.
Right.
And a whole new way of looking at the world through the lens of energy. What's next?
Well, before we go full-on energy wizard, the source makes a point of emphasizing the ethical considerations that come with wielding this kind of power.
Okay.
It says that this energy needs to be used responsibly and for the greater good.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like we're talking about some pretty potent stuff here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to go around manipulating energy without, some careful thought.
Exactly. We need to consider the potential consequences.
Right.
And make sure we're using this power for good.
Right.
Not for personal gain or to harm others.
All right. So with great power comes great responsibility.
Got it. But how do we actually ensure we're using this energy ethically?
That's what we'll explore next. The source provides some really interesting guidelines for staying aligned with our highest intentions as we work with this energy. Okay, this is getting really interesting. I'm ready to dive deeper into these ethical guidelines and see how we can start putting all of this into practice. But first, let's take a moment to let all of this sink in. All right, so we're talking about real power here, the power of energy,
right,
and the importance of using it wisely.
Yeah.
So what exactly does the source say about staying on the right path with this stuff?
Well, it's interesting. The source frames it as a natural outcome of understanding energy itself. It really emphasizes this idea that we're all interconnected.
Okay.
We're part of this larger web of energy.
So it's our energy is always rippling outwards, impacting everything and everyone around us.
That's the idea. Our intentions are emotions.
Right.
They don't just stay inside us.
Right.
And it connects us back to a lot of ancient wisdom traditions. They understood the power within us and the need to use it responsibly.
Right.
In harmony with the universe.
It definitely makes you think twice about the energy you're putting out into the world.
Yeah.
If every thought and feeling has an impact, that's a pretty big responsibility.
It is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
And it leads to some interesting questions about how we use our energy in everyday life.
Right. How do we actually ensure we're using this energy for good? Does the source give any specific advice?
It does. It encourages us to pay attention to how different people and places make us feel.
Okay.
Yep. Do they energize us, uplift us, or do they drain us?
So it's about being aware of those energy vampires we might encounter. Why do I always feel great after hanging out with my friend Sarah, but completely wiped after meeting with my boss?
Exactly. It's about being sensitive to those shifts in energy.
Right.
And understanding how they affect us. The source also suggests that we can actually cleanse our own energy regularly.
Right. Energy cleansing? What does that even look like?
It can take many forms, and the source really encourages you to find what resonates with you.
Okay.
Visualization is a big one.
Imagining that negativity being washed away.
Okay.
Some people use things like smudging with sage,
Right.
taking a salt bath, or even using crystals.
So it's like taking an energetic shower. I like that analogy. Get rid of any stagnant or negative energy.
It's a great way to think about it. Just like we take care of our physical bodies.
Yeah.
We need to care for our energetic bodies too.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about throughout the day? How do we actually manage our energy so we don't get drained?
Well, the source emphasizes being mindful of our thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
They're not just mental events. They have an energetic impact too.
So if I'm constantly stressed and worried,
right,
that's going to affect my energy levels and the energy around me.
It can. It's about recognizing that our thoughts and emotions are powerful creators.
So instead of letting my mind spiral into negativity,
right,
I could try to shift my focus to more, positive and empowering thoughts. Exactly. And it's about learning to pull your energy back from situations that aren't serving you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get so caught up in things that drain me.
Yeah.
It's I need to learn how to set some energetic boundaries.
Yes, protecting your own energy field is crucial. The source also talks about the power of nature for recharging.
Oh, yeah. Nature's the best.
Yeah.
But is it just about being out in nature, or is there something more to it?
The source encourages us to actively engage with the energy of nature. You know, the trees, the sky, the water.
Right.
It's about intentionally drawing in that vital energy.
Okay, so I'm not just going for a walk in the park. I'm consciously connecting with the energy of nature to recharge myself.
That's it. And as we do all of this, manage our energy, cleanse it, be mindful of what drains and replenishes us.
Right.
The source suggests we can start to tap into a whole other level of potential.
Wait, what kind of potential are we talking about? This is where it gets really interesting, right?
The source suggests that as we deepen our awareness of energy, we might even start to develop abilities that seem extraordinary.
Okay.
Things that most people might consider, magic.
Okay, hold on. Are we talking about superpowers here?
Uh-huh.
Like telepathy or seeing the future?
The source does mention those possibilities.
Whoa.
But it frames them as natural extensions of our energy awareness.
Okay.
Not supernatural powers.
So the more we work with energy,
right,
the more sensitive we become to it.
Exactly.
And these abilities could just emerge naturally.
Yeah.
That's a pretty wild idea.
It is. But of course, the source stresses the responsibility that comes with such abilities.
Right.
We can't just go around trying to read minds without considering the ethical implications.
That's a good point. It seems like balance is a key theme here.
Yeah.
Balancing our energy.
Right.
Using our power wisely.
Yeah.
Understanding that we're all connected.
You're right. It's not just about becoming powerful. It's about becoming wise in how we use this energy.
So it's less about becoming some kind of energy superhero and more about a profound shift in how we see ourselves in the world.
And the source suggests that this shift in perspective can lead to a more magical, fulfilling, and meaningful way of being in the world.
Wow. Okay. This is really making me think I'm already feeling inspired to pay more attention to my energy and how I can use it more consciously.
That's fantastic. And remember, this is a journey. It's about exploring, experimenting, and finding what works for you.
All right, I'm ready to keep exploring. But before we go full-on energy wizard, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
How can we actually put all of this into practice in our everyday lives? So we've talked about a lot, this hidden flame techniques like breath work and visualization, the ethical considerations, and even the possibility of unlocking these incredible abilities.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
But how do we actually put all of this into practice? Where do we even begin?
The source keeps coming back to this idea of paying attention. It all starts with becoming more mindful of your energy throughout the day.
Okay.
Notice how you feel in different situations around different people, even when you're engaging in different activities.
So if I'm feeling drained after scrolling through social media for an hour, that's a sign I need to take an energy break.
Exactly. It's about recognizing those energy drains and finding ways to replenish yourself.
Okay.
And then on the flip side, pay attention to the things that boost your energy. What activities, places, or people leave you feeling energized and inspired?
I'm starting to see how this ties back to, the idea of those energy vampires.
Right.
I need to be more conscious of who and what I'm letting into my energetic space.
That's a great way to put it. It's about curating your life.
Right.
To maximize those positive energetic experiences and minimize the things that drain you.
Okay, so it's not just about being aware of how other people and places affect us.
Right.
It's also about being mindful of the energy we're putting out into the world.
Right. Absolutely. Remember, the source emphasizes that our thoughts and emotions are energy events too. So if you're constantly stressed and anxious, that energy is going to ripple outwards.
So it's not just about protecting myself from negative energy. It's about taking responsibility for the energy I'm bringing to every interaction.
Precisely. It's about becoming a more conscious creator of your reality.
Right.
Both individually and collectively.
I'm realizing this is a lot more empowering than I initially thought.
Yeah.
It's not about being at the mercy of external forces. It's about understanding that we have a role to play in shaping our energetic experiences.
And that's the exciting part.
Right.
As you become more aware of your energy and learn to work with it intentionally, you might be surprised by what you can achieve.
This has been such a mind-expanding deep dive. It's made me realize there's so much more to reality than we often perceive.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The more we explore, the more we discover the interconnectedness and magic that exists in every moment.
I think it's a perfect note to end on. To everyone listening, I encourage you to keep exploring these ideas.
Yeah.
Keep experimenting and see where this journey of energy awareness takes you.
And remember, the source highlighted the power of intention. So as you embark on this exploration, ask yourself, what do you want to create? with your energy? What kind of magic do you want to bring into the world?
That's a great question to ponder. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences as you delve into this fascinating world of energy. Feel free to share your insights with us on our website or social media channels. Until next time, happy exploring.